Right, so we are live, and you saw me turn all the cameras on at that point as well. That was not the smoothest opening I've done. Just a second. And now we are recording too. So we are live. Welcome to the Off Grid dev stream. My name's Rich Metzen. I am your host for the evening. I am one of the devs behind the stealth hacking game Off Grid. It's a game where data is your most powerful weapon. You collect the data of your enemies in order to manipulate how they behave and attempt to sneak past them, and you hack IoT devices along the way in order to change the environment and try and spin that to your advantage. I'll just get rid of the starting soon text because we've started. What have we got in store? What have we been up to, I guess, is one of the questions. Those of you that are in first access, we have pushed an update to Steam for you all today. There's a few interesting new things. There's some additional stuff on the AI API to do with sending data that went in the last day or so that we're now testing out as well. We have got a change in the control schemes for folks to test out and play with. Definitely need some smoothing out still, but hopefully people feel that the actual responsiveness of the character is a little better. But I'd be really keen to hear what people think, and the whole point of doing this first access thing is in order to get you in playing and testing that stuff out, so and giving us feedback and honest feedback. You know, if you prefer it how it was, tell us. We can always roll things back. It's just code at the end of the day. I was going to spin into showing you all a little bit of dev stuff. Just give me a moment. Remember, you can jump into the chat and say hi. Actually, that's something I should do, is pull up the Steam broadcast chat for folks. I've got Restream basically talking to Periscope, YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch apparently. So fingers crossed, that means that I should be speaking to a whole bunch of you. And I suppose that's where I should start really. Let's just type hello. Remember to say hi if you're in the chat. Basically, I'm here to teach people about our dev process, but also all the modding tools that we've made available to first access and will be making. Oh, Best Man is back. Hello. Good to see you. Right, so I mean, the kind of thing that I'm going to be talking about tonight hopefully kind of continues on a bit from last week. Best Man says he almost forgot about this stream. I'm glad you didn't. You got a little notification popped up and said hello? Well, while I wait to hear how Best Man was reminded of this. Oh god, yeah, of course. I was going to play some Tokyo 42 with you. Yeah, I'll play some Tokyo 42 for a bit. I mean, I think I do probably have to cover a little bit of Off Grid first, if that's all right with you. But I did make that promise. It might be kind of fun actually to have a little look at some of the similarities or overlaps with Tokyo 42. We're quite close friends with Mode 7, who published that game, and those guys over there are pretty cool. So yeah. How serious are you, best man, about wanting me to play Tokyo 42 rather than talk about off-grid and modding? I mean, like, you know, I'll definitely dip into it if you're really excited about it. Probably not for very long, but I think we could have a little good. You have 8% battery. I don't think you get to dictate what we're going to put into the stream then, because you're not going to be here in like 5 minutes time. You don't have a plug or a charger nearby? So I suppose what I should do is introduce folks to what off-grid is a little bit more. Let me just, without further ado, jump up here and open up Steam and show you some stuff. So off-grid is a game that's in development currently. We are running what's called First Access, which you have a charge. Best Man has a charger, good. First Access is basically a certain tier of our Kickstarter backers who wanted access to our regular builds and updates. They include mechanics changes, changes to controls, content, although we kind of do a little bit of cheeky A/B testing on the content to see what people are into at different times, rather than just dumping the entire game at people. So yeah, put Tokyo 42 on reserve. Best Man says. Alright, we can hold off on Tokyo 42. I mean, interestingly, one of the things that I do want to do with this stream is get some of my fairly notorious and infamous hacker mates like Lowry and some of the LulzSec guys in to play some hacking games with me. So yeah, Darren, Mus, Jake, they're all gamers. So we can play Tokyo 42 with a hacker critique. I think that might be the best way to do it. So yeah. Well then, so a bit more about off-grid. Let's have a look at it. Essentially, off-grid is, like I said, it's a stealth hacking game. We've kind of done quite a lot of work to make it moddable with all of the tools that we use. So if I was to launch Unity right now, which I will do because we're going to do some modding, we're going to do a bit of a dev stream thing and show you some stuff. But basically we have this level kit project, which if and when you own a copy of off-grid, you'll be able to go to the tools section in Steam, look for off-grid, and it says off-grid level kit, and if you have this downloaded, it's gonna basically download a Unity project for you, which includes all of our dev tools, and then we will probably create a launcher to make it all a little bit more straightforward. But if you then open that Unity project, this is what you will be faced with. Although this is a level that I have in progress currently, so it's not necessarily 100% representative. But Unity's sort of frozen there a bit for me. That's nice. There we go. Just expand or contract these windows to fit in a little more nicely. So essentially you get this Unity project. It has a lot of different stuff in it, but the most important stuff is down in this window called Level Kit Tool, and it has, this is populated when you have a new level. It helps you set up the names for new levels and mods and this, that and the other. here's some of that stuff to do with the description that I'm talking about. It has a load of build settings for building light maps, making some tweaks, validating all of the mission objects, and testing it. You can network the game locally into, or network your mod locally into a copy of the game. So I'll show you a little bit of that quickly now. So we head back to our library, launch Tokyo 42. No, we'll launch Off Grid right now. Yeah. So there's our copy of the game. I'm just going to turn some of the background music off for a moment while we've got this going. Sorry, I need to stop being distracted by the Discord. Thanks, Mighty Cowboy / Best Man. Yeah, you're you're definitely doing a good job of being my biggest fan today. It's just said Rich Metzen is the best developer. I'm probably the best developer on this stream right now. That's not necessarily true. Even like Mighty Cowboy could well be an amazing developer. But I'm the best developer on your screen right now if you're watching this. Right, so if you make a mod, it uploads to the game in this map screen. Essentially, like you can go to the community hub. If you've ever used Steam Workshop before, you'll have seen this. But essentially, hit Workshop here and go to most popular or most recent. Oh no, don't like that. Go back one. Most recent maybe. And you'll see the mods that have gone in now. Now I can see a bunch of these that aren't visible to everyone else because I'm one of the admins, obviously, and I can see all our test mods in here. But there's 3 mods that have actually been made by people that I think are public. At least two of them are public for you to have a look at. And if you basically, I think you click on the mod itself, and you can hit subscribe. And then the next time you load your copy of Off Grid, that mod is going to be in here for you to play. So we've got this House 1 Hello World, my first Off Grid mod. That's one of our first access players. I think it's called Katie's first mod, so I think that's Katie's. So yeah, and that's how modding kind of appears in Off Grid per se. But more importantly, what if you were making your own mod? Well, this is where some of the interesting stuff starts to happen. So we've got the game set up here. We've got our mod. Say that, you know, say you've been building this for the last couple of weeks in the way that Soph and I have been, and you want to test it out a bit. Well, you'd have already created the mission script and all that kind of jazz, and you literally just hit search for game, and it's going to look for the game up here, and then you hit start, and it will locally network to your copy of the game that's been launched through Steam. It should, as long as I haven't left this broken and not working. There you go. It'll launch into your mod for you to test and play. So yeah, and you can see our secretary kind of walking around in the background over there. I think there's some objectives and some bits and pieces going on that I've been setting up. And this is where I left it last. I think I left it that I was setting up some conversations. Yep. Might not have gotten this far during the stream last time, but essentially we set up some objectives and some conversations for the players to have. So the question is, what's the next thing to take you through looking at within making some levels? One of the things that I have had a request to talk about and explore a little further from iMod on our Trello board. So if you're interested in modding off-grid, your best bet is join our Discord. I will just pop the Discord window out here quickly. Join the Discord and jump into the modding room and hit pins, and you'll see there's a bunch of stuff in here. I think there's a bunch. I need to add some stuff about the Trello board actually, so let's do that now quickly. So we have a Trello board, first access, and modding. And this has some guides for how to get set up. It has bugs for people to register. It has some Lua API requests, some level kit tool requests, some feature requests, and requests for documentation. And one of the ones that I got was basic level design. I kind of covered some of this in episode 7 of the dev stream, which is 2 episodes ago now. I think it was episode 10 actually. So yeah. But yes, that's something that I started to touch on, but I think we should probably go into in a little bit more detail. So my plan for today is actually to build out a few rooms and just show you some kind of basic geometry making. I'm going to dump this link in the modding channel quickly now. Folks watching, the dev stream. Oh, I don't want to do that. I swear I copied the link. What the hell am I doing? Copy. There we go. Thank you. Infestations. Suggestions. This is what I was trying to write. This is the worst thing about trying to live stream and talk and type something else. I have 4 battery. Mighty Cowboy, if you've got 4 battery and you have a charger, then you should plug it in, because then you get to hang out with us on the live stream for longer. Right, back to this game. Oh, I think before we go into designing too much more, actually, what I should do. I keep doing this. I need to change some of the settings on here. Let's change this level script so that we start off at the beginning of the level and we can just talk a little bit about what's going on, I guess. What's that? Oh, yes. We don't want that. We want this one. So we can change the spawn point here. Like this is a nice example of something that I've kind of talked about before. But essentially, all of your mission logic is set up with these things called mission objects. You can see those with anything with a gizmo on like this. But there are these ones that are set up as spawn points, and based on their name, you can drop the character wherever. So in this instance, I'm going to drop the character onto this one. That's called player spawn because that's where we want the player to spawn in the main game. I think I might, yeah, do have it checked out. And so now, when we do our whole networking thing again, so tab out of here, stop, start. That actually drops us in this reception area, which once it's dressed up a little more nicely will be the beginning of the game. So this is an introductory level. It's obviously very grey box. You can still see some of the tiling of the Pro Builder objects around, but essentially you're being dropped in the beginning of an office. I've got some instruction that I need to do at the beginning of this so that you know where you are, what you're doing. So that's one of the things that I think we should probably do, is maybe throw some hints and some modals in. I think I might have talked about modals before, but we'll probably do a bit of that during this as a little reminder. Oh, pardon me. So the first thing that you do in this instance is
FM partners, can I help?
Hit the intercom and get a key card, key, update, scan that there, and you're supposed to head up the stairs here. This door is meant to be locked, but we might come down to this floor again later. I don't know quite why. I think that's probably scanning the wrong side, is what it is. Go red, yeah. But we did mess about in this room before, and as you can see, it's pretty blank. It's even missing a ceiling. So I think it's a good room for us to do some basic pro builderizing and setting up an office space. The elevators are out of use at this point. I want them to have a ransomware on and set it up so that if you try and call the lift from here, it says something funny. So we'll see about that. So instead, your only option is to use the stairs. We're going to head up here. And like I say, it's all a little bit dull looking because it's being grey boxed currently. There's work being done to make it a bit more interesting.
Bloody hell, a burglar.
And you can hear the wrong voice call there as oh, we've got the roof missing there as well. She's got some guard AOS stuff going on. Oh, she's going to come the long way. Well, at least her door's stuff's working. Oh no, she can't get through that door. That's odd. She's done the hard bit. Maybe I missed giving her the first floor key card. Where's my Oh. Oh yeah, she's meant to talk to you from across the desk, but I've got this broken. There's obviously placeholder stuff in here. This is her talking to us. This won't be how she talks to us in the long run. I'm just using some placeholder animations. I mean, it's I think it's called a hip hop dance.
McGill working you like a dog too, huh?
Yeah, McGill is working us like a dog. So yeah, and then there's meant to be a load of stuff going on in here. Anyway, not going to do any more spoiling of anything, but we will flip back to making some of the level and geometry. So I'm just going to close the game quickly now. Put our music back on in the background. Might just launch the Steam broadcast chat as well, because I forgot to. Where is that? Just bear with me. Hello to anyone on Mixer who is watching. Remember to say hi in the chat. I've got Best Man. Oh, Best Man. Sorry, I've missed some of your other messages. Did I put a red circle on Discord for the one for busy? You might have been conversing with me about something else, but I've missed what you've been saying. Well, thank you for your support, Best Man. I do much appreciate you supporting devs. You know, it's not easy being a dev, to be honest. It can be a pretty tricky journey, making sure that you're sharing the game to the right people at the right time and talking about it enough, but also kind of making sure that you're getting people updates to stuff and interesting things to play with. So support is much appreciated. So just give me a sec. I'm gonna open up. There we go. Steam chat. Let's see. Working. I've got to log in. Oh my god. Alright, sure. Well, I'll have to do that, really. Don't want to be missing out on our Steam folk. Right, just bear with me a second. Well, while that's taking its sweet old time to load, we can have a look at, like I said, sort of the building tools for making your high quality, best of rooms, offices, environments. We use something called Pro Builder, which is now a kind of a package that's part of Unity. It used to be a separate plugin, and it's worth having a play with, but at the same time, it's also not a requirement with Off Grid, because Off Grid is actually built so that you can use a load of templates and prefabs. For rooms, for doors, for corridors, windows, you know, you name it. There's ways for you to create something without having to necessarily be a 3D modeler or understand some of those kind of nuances of creating stuff in, you know, a 3D environment. So we're getting there now. Sorry. Type hello to our Steam brothers and sisters. There we go. So then, I'll show you the basics within the collections, I think. What we're going to do is save ourselves a little complexity by closing some of this down. You'll see that, I mean, hierarchies in video games for 3D worlds get complex really quite quickly. We're going to save ourselves a little bit of pain and just hide some stuff. So up in the inspector here in the right hand side, you've got the ability to uncheck some stuff. Wow, that's everything though. Okay, we won't be unchecking all of that then. This all needs organising better. That's interesting. Oh, here we go. Architecture. That's what I was after. That's just been closed down. All this needs sorting out a little bit. That is me and Soph being slightly messy there. We'll have to get on that. But essentially, you've got all these. If and when it's organised properly, and you don't have all this stuff up here, you've got this architecture section which has a load of walls, ceilings, you name it, that can be enabled or disabled, and we're going to disable them so that we can see more easily into the bottom of the room. There's a load of props up here that we need to disappear a bit, but we'll leave that for now, as, you know, so we're not worrying about it. So like I said, some of this stuff is built with Pro Builder. Pro Builder you can do a load of stuff with, but we'll just make ourselves a bit of extra space here quickly at the moment. Pro Builder, you can select things by up here by edge, vertex, and face. Vertex is that. We're just gonna shift some of this stuff around a bit for a moment, just so we got some space. Essentially, a lot of Off Grid's geometry comes in this level kit folder here. There's this thing called collections, and that's your best bet really, for just dragging and dropping and moving stuff around. So what I, you know, perfectly reasonable to take all of those collection scenes and just drop them in as other streamed levels for reference. It'll take a moment to load them all, but as you can see, you get a collection of white box elements. Oh, there we go, in they come. Architraving doors, exteriors, furniture, hackable objects, industrial stuff, interiors, lights, props, stairs, vehicles, walls, windows, and that may expand further still, but it's already pretty comprehensive. And that stuff is all over here. Yeah, you'll start to see that. It's all listed out here. There's windows and doors of different kinds, elevators, you know, you name it. There is lights, all the different types of lights you can put into a level, all this kind of stuff. All the wall parts and pieces if you want to put some more interestingly designed wall sections in. You know, stuff that's going to bounce light in different ways or has some kind of little feature or element. All the window sections that are available. Loads of stuff, basically. Yeah, wood paneling. It's a building exterior. It's brickwork. This is interesting. How come that one brick shader is fine and the others aren't? Plants of various kinds. That's a bit of a clue. That's kind of industrial stuff. Cardboard boxes, office supplies. Hackable devices of multiple different kinds. This is a nice one. There's your cash register. Loads and loads and loads of stuff. Lots of hackable devices, lots of desk types. Lots of cool stuff up here. And then, you know, even into kind of weird and wacky vehicles, some of these will change. Stair types, containers, walls, fences, tin sheds, brickwork, tunnels, piping. All of this stuff is here for you to experiment with in your mods, basically. Pretty good. The game in the trailer looks like it's completely made. Well, that's good to hear, I suppose. I mean, trailers are supposed to show the best bits of the game. We can, I mean, like, if we were to drop ourselves, if we were to launch Steam again, you'd see, you know, I could show you the stuff that's in the trailer. Like, the mechanics are largely there. A lot of the hacking stuff is there, but we're still building content, still making new levels, and we will be for a little while yet. Yeah, and that's kind of the whole point of this process, is inviting people into seeing what we're up to as we go. So yeah. So that gives you that stuff. There are some prefabs in places. Oh, where are they? There's, I think, models. I think there's, yeah, there is. In models here, there is a thing called pre-assembled. Yep. That's what we're after. So there's this pre-assembled rooms one. This is pretty small at the minute, but it already gives you a bunch of rooms that you can just drag and drop in. There you go, different sizes. So we could decide that for our level, we want to drop some. In trailer, it looks like it has better graphics. That's literally just that you're seeing the dev stuff before it's been lit, best man. So, like, yeah, if you're referring to what we were seeing when we were kind of playing around there in the level that I'm in the middle of building at the minute, that hasn't had its lighting pass yet. Whereas, for instance, we jump into Steam currently and throw like the newspaper level, that's the level that is featured the most heavily in the trailer on, you'll see that the just jump in here. Head back over here while that's loading up, because we'll need that in a minute anyway to be able to show people stuff. So, where is the level that we're building? Over here. So, we're just here. We can basically take any of these pre-assembled rooms. So this 9x15 plain room here, just dump that. Here is a model. That's got some walls that need kicking out for us to use differently. Maybe we'll spin it around so the door is there. Yeah, let's do that. And the windows will be in the right place roughly as well. Interestingly, this isn't being happy and isn't loading, so we're going to close it and open it again. Why did I just open the game? Because what we're going to do is we're going to continue testing the modding stuff through the game, because that's the copy of the game is essentially what you use to do that stuff, for seeing what you've changed and whatever else. So that's why I was opening it up. But at the same time, I was figuring I could show you a bit more of some of the more finished levels to see the difference in the kind of the graphic style between a finished level and this kind of in progress stuff. Yeah, all we've done is just literally grab a pre-assembled room that's here. It's got some windows in it already. Then what we can do is we could just pull these wall sections too. So this is using a combination of ProBuilder and everything else. I should probably show you how that's actually installed. So you go to Package Manager. So Window Package Manager. And there should be ProBuilder there, or built-in packages. Hit all and go down until you find ProBuilder. You click on that and you can hit install. Mine says up to date or remove, because it's already in. And then that essentially gives you this cool little tool set, which is here, which includes creating a new shape. So like move this to here. We can create a cube, obviously, which is pretty useful. Stair, prism, cylinder, and a whole bunch of stuff, you know, an arch if you needed it. Icosahedron? Not really sure what that means. It looks like a funky kind of sphere. Torus. And custom shape that you can define by writing the vert wrapping, which is something that I haven't done in a very long time, and you probably don't want to be doing either. But yeah, so that's how this stuff all works. You know, let's say we wanted to make some pillars for this room. If you're using Pro Builder, you'd do that. Build cylinder, there it goes, and then you can start squashing and stretching some of the stuff. Stick the grid on. So, as well as this sort of set of tools up to the right here, and like I said, you've got this collection of prefabs. I'm going to have to kill some of the occlusion culling because it's causing some weird stuff. So that's a little better. The floor there is sort of overlapping, so that's interesting. Maybe we'll move this around too. Grab an edge. Oh right, yeah, we will launch a game. So I'll leave that there. There's that. Best Man asks, is Unity free? Yes, basically. If you're using it in a non-commercial capacity, or if you're using it in a commercial capacity and earning less than $100,000 from it a year, then it's free, basically. You can basically just go to the Unity website. You'll get you can look at the instructions on our wiki. There's a version that you'll need to. Well, actually, that's a good point. You'll have to match the version to our build. So when we launch a game here, I think it has the Unity version on the main screen. So you make sure that you're using the right version. Yeah, 2018.2 F1. 2018.2 18 F1. And that's going to change this week because actually we're upgrading to 2018.3 to make use of nested prefabs, which is a feature that I've been waiting for in Unity for 8 years. So that'll be nice. Free but not free. I mean, well, it's free. It's free to people who aren't making a lot of money off of it. Is the answer. Or taking investment on, or have a publishing deal, or whatever else. So, yeah, I should think it will probably be free to most people. And if it isn't free to you, and you're interested in modding off grid, you'll already be making something else, and it's unrelated. Like if it's a hobby project, like making mods for stuff like off grid, then using Unity free is free. I'll promise you that much. So yeah, let's have a look at this like just to give you an idea of what a final level will look like. when you're making your mods, because you know you'll hopefully like them as well as we do. So this is what the kind of current kind of level of a finish mission looks like. So here's us chatting away and whatnot. You've got your apps down here on the left. Targeting on this is still problematic, and I have to fix that. There you go, scan it.
So, do you hear about that journal upstairs getting detained in the airport? Took his hard drives on terrorism.
So, this is us kind of making our way through the lobby of a set of offices for an investigative newspaper who are up to stuff. So it's free, but you cannot make... Well, yeah, basically, Best Man said so, Unity is free, but you cannot make 100k. I mean, you can make 100k per year, and then you just start paying a Unity license fee, which they're all pretty reasonable, really. So yeah, if you start making 100k per year via Unity, not like doing something completely unrelated, like it's just 100k per year through whatever you're using Unity for, then at that point they want you to pay a subscription. And I think that's reasonable, you know, for one of the best game engines on the market currently. It's pretty good. It's a lot better than it used to be with things like renderware, you know, in the early 2000s. The noughties, as they called them. Oh. So yeah, this is us hacking a hand dryer to make the temperature in the room come up. So yeah, this is a bit more like, I expect a bit more like what you saw in the trailer, Best Man. So yeah. And the kind of thing that you get to do is see all the data in the networks around, that the guards are leaving, and all this kind of stuff. So then you start collecting and deleting data to manipulate them, all that kind of stuff. And this stuff all comes into play as you're building your mod. I'm just kind of taking us through getting to that point, really, which starts with building all the geometry for your levels, you know. So, you know, all of the setting up different rooms and putting pillars in them if that's really what you want. So, yeah, you know, for instance, we'll want to close this gap up here. Pro Builder has this little set of tools up the top that allow you to select between how you're manipulating objects. We're gonna manipulate the vertexes, so move that up. You know, you might then move those two up so they're the same height as the door. And then you... Okay, here's an interesting principle for those that haven't done any 3D modeling before. Basically, it's something called extrusion. If you have got something selected like an edge or a face, and you hit an extrude, it will drag a new version of that section out for you to play with. So we'll hit extrude edges. It's annoyingly jumped out by 90 degrees in the wrong direction, but it creates a new edge and a face between the two edges, the old one and the new one. Then we'll hit extrude edges again. We have to move some stuff around. Move that back. We'll then knock that over there, and then one more edge to extrude, and then we'll have finished this wall that runs around the door there. So extrude edges again. I think you can, yeah, you can. You can change this. We don't want it to move anywhere, so we just move that to 0, and that should fix that. If you were making something where you wanted the extrusion to go in the same direction all the time, then you could set that up. Within there. In most occasions, that's not what you want. Right. So this stuff's all kind of due to change, fairly soon. As you can see, there's this kind of difference in lighting and all these different patches to stuff. Some of that is changed when you build light maps. So, like, we could go to auto-generating the light maps, and that will do them in the background, and this might start to look a lot nicer. Might go a bit laggy though, so we might move back to build on demand. Check the game called Drug Dealer Simulator on Steam. Will you check it? Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll make a note and have a look when I finish. What is it that excites you about Drug Dealer Simulator on Steam, best man? Is it gritty and realistic? Is it like Narcos, that Netflix series, or is it a cheeky little thing? Yep, got a note of it. I'll have a look later. Is it something that you're involved in or helping make? It's realistic. Interesting. Cool. Right, so the next thing that you basically start to do is head over to these collections and start dropping stuff into the rooms that you've made. So I mean, like, it's worth trying to consider what kind of room that is. It's probably an office, so we might want a bunch of office props. It's so hard doing this kind of thing on the fly when you're trying to think it through. I mean, you basically just kind of sort of let your mind go wild and kind of pull in whatever seems interesting at the time. I'm really stuck as to what it's an office, so let's just put some officey stuff in there. There's a pigeonholes, there's some desks and stuff. Yeah, let's just make it a fairly standard office. What's the Discord link for, best man? The is it the Discord to the drug dealer simulator thing? There we go, and there's a bunch of office chairs. So, you know, basically you duplicate these with Control D, and then you need to close down all these along the way. But this looks like this is our level up here. Yeah. Take those duplicates and dump them here in our game. There. And yeah, hit W, Control, and just shift those things over to your level and start mucking about, really. Creating environments just takes time. It's something you have to spend some time on. As we get further into this, we'll try and make sure that we've got more levels available that have, you know, pre-made rooms and stuff like that for you, that, you know, dressed up already and things like that. So that's those bits. And this is just generally how I would do this stuff. I mean, I'm kind of eyeballing it all a bit here just to get the props into where I want them. We'll move some of that around. That's interesting. Yeah. So those are roughly in the right place. Hold Control and then drag, and that'll deselect stuff. Moves that over there. And we just drop this here. And there's our cupboards and whatever else all in place, ready for us to start mucking about and making this into a bona fide office space. You know, and then just hit A and rotate some stuff around. You know, drop it in place. All this stuff should have colliders on already for you, so there's not anything to worry about there. Some of this stuff in place. I mean, this is never going to look good in the time that I have available to try and talk you through kind of building geometry and give you the basics, but you can sort of see where I'm going with this. I'm not really putting my design hat on as such. I'm just kind of mucking about, seeing what looks interesting, twisting it around the place. There we go, just like that. So yeah, I mean this doesn't give a, you know, it's never going to be a case of me showing you how to make the most beautiful thing in the world. That's just time and effort, and as you can see from when Soph set dresses stuff, you know, a bit of practice and you'll be able to do some similar stuff. This desk here. I mean, you know, there's really not very much, there's nothing special about this at all, but it gives you a quick demo of how quickly you can set a room up and have it doing something. There's a little missing piece of floor in there that we can add. Probably an opportunity to use the shape generator. We want a plane. We want it to face up. We want it to be pretty small. Let's make it 1 by 1. 0 segments. Sense preview. Build plane. There it is. F. It's not here. There we go. And you know, what's going on here? Oh, it's an edge mode, that's why. Yep, just faffing a little bit here. It's so easy to get carried away with this stuff. Get that lined up with that door. You go. You know, you're just filling in little bits and bobs. Oh yeah, I remember. Set this up as a thing. There was this coffee pot that had the correct key card on it. We'll move that back in here. Maybe grab one of those little tables for it to sit on, so it's not completely mad that it's there. Go. We've got this spawn point here. We'll rename that in the mission script. That is called I Need Ferret Spawn, because I Need Ferrets was on here chatting with us last time. Best man asks, what do I say about the Unreal Engine? I can't really speak from a perspective of very much confidence or expertise. I'm sure it does a very good job, depending on what you want to make. But I've been using Unity for 10 years now. Wow. I'm pretty comfortable in the Unity environment. I don't see any reason for moving it over as of yet. I think a lot of people, like if you're making a third person or a first person game, Unreal is great. Obviously we're making a third person game, potentially Off Grid could have been easier to make. Some of the traditional third person elements, but generally speaking, I think kind of making some of the more experimental stuff might be easier in Unity. Right. So we're gonna open up our spawn points that I need. Ferrets spawn. And this is where the rest of it comes along. So we've got our game running in the background here. We're going to have to tab over here. And we've got to, I mean, we don't want to build the light maps. They'll take ages, but that's how you'd make it look better. We haven't even lit this yet. But we do have build level changes, which is working out where that, you know, where there are props and things that have been moved around. Beg your pardon, folks. Check the validation window. So this is how the validation stuff works. It wants us to make sure that there is prints with plastic particle sheets with a texture. And something with a rest point missing, although I think there is something called rest, so that's kind of odd. So if we hit sort of play again now, it should land us right to where this here spawn is. Oh, I've done this completely wrong. You don't hit play. You go to networking. Search for game. It should find the game. Hit start. Isn't that loading? Oh, there we go. Lure failed to find mission with object in intercom lobby. That's odd. Workplace mission 624. Really didn't change much in there. Change this spawn. What happens if I change that back? Oh, had it finished doing the build changes maybe. It probably doesn't. Yeah, it probably doesn't matter very much. I was making this game for 10 years. No, I haven't been making this game for 10 years. I've been using Unity for 10 years. We started making this game full time about 3 years ago. building the asset models always takes a little while. Access to no temp. Oh, I love that. Okay. Let's see what that works now. That looks like it's done. So now we should be able to hit networking, search again, start. Then we should see this load up. That's not happy again. No lure errors though, so I think we'll close the game and open it up again. See how this goes. Right. One more time, mate. There we go. Sort of. That's interesting. It didn't like that very much. Just dumped us outside of that door. Spawn point's in a weird place, obviously. But as you can see, it's sort of worked. It's dropped us a bit further over. Shouldn't have been too close, but. It's not letting me select that gizmo selectable. Show grid selection box. That was called I need first spawn, wasn't it? Maybe it's quite dragging it down. Shift this away from the door a bit and see how that gets on. Loads of space there. I have to build that again though. Hit save on the scene. And you might want to consider version control for your mods as you're making them. If you're making something big and complex, especially if you're not too precious about the code, maybe try sticking it on GitHub. Pardon me. I know Josh, the art intern who does some prop modelling for us, who has also been doing some modding in his spare time out of interest. Yeah, it's not easy for him either. slow. Let's see where this dumps us this time. That's interesting. It doesn't like us being the other side of the room. Oh, maybe there's a collider on it that's set up wrong. That's probably what it is. So that's one of the things to watch out for when building rooms. That collider's in the right place. About this one. Yeah. That's got a box collider all around it, I think. Oh, no, that's the floor. That's fine. It's a single panel. That's got a box collider around it, so that's the problem there. That should be a mesh collider or should be broken up. Probably the answer is break it up. So what we do here is we'd select the two offended faces, detach faces, delete. Did I hit delete by mistake? I think I probably did. So, delete, flip, stop with it. Merge faces, detach faces. There you go. And then we'll do the same with this bit over here, which is attracting some issues. Detach faces. And then probably, not guaranteeing anything until I see it, but probably that should be the thing that was getting us some bother. Box collider, mesh. Right, so file this, save the scene. So, where is that rodless? Still the wrong side of it. Did I build? Say when you're watching something build, I'm sure I've got some things to say. Just been a long day. day for me. I should have had a little cat nap before coming on the live stream. Had some mucking about to do this afternoon. Right, looks like it's nearly done. Hopefully it'll get us into the right room and have a little look around what it's built. What a good wrap up for there. That's nice. Yeah. I have a feeling this might work better now. Cool. So back to networking, search for game, start. And just wait and see. There we go, and we're in the correct place. So that was just a case of the box colliders that were in the wrong place, knocking us off where we wanted to be. So if you remember, this coffee pot is an interaction that we can scan, it downloads a door file, and that'll get through. Yeah. Past the pillar that we put in. Looks like there's something going on in this door that's wrong collider wise as well. But there you go, you can see the stuff that we've started to build out over there. That's probably a good place to leave it for tonight. I'm trying to make these streams a little bit less lengthy. It's quite hard to cover one subject and not branch out into some of the other API that affects it. So there will be some longer shows and some covering, well, they'll all be covering different topics in different ways. Make sure you get doing some modding as soon as you can. There is a modding competition on for winning some off-grid swag, and over the coming months we'll start to partner that up with some other people so that you can get some even more interesting swag through uploading mods. That's it, I guess. Enjoy, hack the planet, and see you all next Thursday. Remember to wishlist, like, and subscribe as well. I suppose is the only other thing. Yeah, we'll catch you soon. Thanks very much. See you next week.